Good morning, Sully.
What's happening, man? You got your coffee in you?
Yeah, I got 16 ounces here in my left hand, probably another 24 inside. I think I'm already like 30 in for the day.
It's going to be a long day, man.
It's gonna be a marathon, Sully.
Heard that. So give us your impressions of the quarterfinal round last night. We saw some pretty big upsets, couple of one seeds going down.
Yeah, really cool story. David Ilucci from St. Joseph. Here's a senior who had, he finished fourth at districts. Wasn't even supposed to be here. The third place district winner who beat him 7-0 in the district third place match. Actually had a head injury. Couldn't wrestle. The kid comes here. He pins in 32 seconds on Wednesday night in the pre-quarterfinals. Last night he pins the top seed, Asa Walton of Delsea, in the third period to move on. So really a cool story there for him. And then you look at Sal Manera of St. Augustine at 152, beats Cody Wolf of Woodstown 6-0, really dominated the match, and another 8 or 9 seed, I believe, to push through and take down the top seed. So a little bit of impact yesterday from some of the lower seeds.
Sean Lynch from Prep looked pretty good at 195. I know he's been kind of dealing with a couple of injuries throughout the season. Hasn't really dominated like he thought he would, but seems to be coming into his own here in the final couple weeks of his career. Talk about him a little bit. I know he was made it to Atlantic City last year and is looking to be one of those guys at the top of the podium this year. What did you see out of him last night?
Well, Sean Lynch wrestled very well. I believe he's pinned in both of his first two bouts here. And he's a guy that I think is, in some cases, gets taken for granted because he has been so consistently good. I don't know that many people expected him to get to state semifinals where he reached that point last season. But he's back this year, and he's been excellent. The thing that's kind of been unforeseen is in that 195 class in Region 8 and even in his own district is Brian Martin of Williamstown, who seems to be at this point in time the odds-on favorite at states. We'll see what happens today. It could be Lynch and Martin again. He beat Lynch 7-5 in the district final. This is a kid who hasn't wrestled the last couple postseasons, really since he was a freshman because of injuries, and he's come out of nowhere. So I think Martin has been kind of a figure that people have latched onto here, and with good reason. He's undefeated. But Lynch can sometimes get lost in that shadow that he might well be the second, or, we'll see today. If he could beat him, he might be the top or the second best 195 in the state.
You think the Menino brothers will even break a sweat today? Those kids are so good, man.
I'm sure they will, just because they're such hard workers, and then they never take a second off. These kids have been great over their 4 years at Gateway High School. And
they are so good, man.
Both to win. Yeah, they are. They're so strong. They're good on top. I mean, it's just so hard to score against them and get out. And they are smart wrestlers. I think earlier in their careers they could really rack up the points, and now they just know how to get it done. And that's really the ultimate sign of maturity. Both will be at Drexel next season, so good for them. It's good to see them go through this thing one last time with some success.
Another guy, Mark, who looks ultra-focused is actually two guys from Holy Spirit, Tim Fitzpatrick there at 160 and Mike Wazen at 182. Particularly Fitzpatrick, he just looks like he's on a mission to get to that at least that state semifinal round and see if he can maybe shock the world and win a state title. Just a kid that's, out there just doing everything he wants to do on the wrestling mat, and it's cool to see because such a great kid and such a hard-working kid.
Yeah, Tim Fitzpatrick is really, he's such a horse, man. I mean, and he gets the job done. The kid, I don't think he has an ounce of fat on him. He's obviously a rigorous trainer in the off season and the weightlifter, and he really is quite a specimen. And his success is well chronicled. And the Beast of the East this year and last year, he had some good things happen that kind of boosted his potential, I think, in the eyes of a lot of observers. And you look at Mike Wazen, he's stuck in 182, which might not be the best case because Bill Janzer, returning state champ at Delsea, is there at the top of the bracket. But we'll see if those two match off in the final. Maybe Wazen can keep it close, or you never know what can happen in a tournament like this. But another great kid, and Ralph, and even Demetrius Pally lost last night to Bryce Dunn of Cumberland at heavyweight, but he's been great for the Spartans too. So the top talent there at Holy Spirit, those three guys, they've really been excellent.
I told you, man, watch out for my boy Jefferson DeJean over there, heavyweight at Egg Harbor Township, man. He looked good last night.
Yeah, really, he did, and it's a loaded weight class. It seems like every year heavyweight in South Jersey is loaded, whether it's in Region 7 or 8. Same is true this year, and he's a kid that, his semifinal's a big deal, man. If you can clinch that state ticket at heavyweight, you're really fortunate because you get back and wrestle back. So there's going to be some good kids that get left home. So if DeJean can take care of business this evening, or I guess this afternoon, then it'll really be good for EHT. And if not, he's going to have a couple tough bouts and wrestlebacks.
The thing about that heavyweight class is most of the divisions are, within 5-6 pounds of each other. You could have a kid that's 230 going up against a kid that's 280, and Jefferson, man, he's every bit of 280 and a big, tall, strong dude, and he's a load for anybody to handle. Just trying to get him down, and those heavyweight bouts. If you get through that first period with no points scored, and he picks the bottom position, holding that kid down is not an easy task.
No, hold him down and then trying to get out from under him. I mean, Tariq Brown of Pennsgrove, he's a number 2 seed here at 220 pounds. Kid won districts last year and is a fantastic football player too, a Division I prospect. He decided earlier in the year maybe he would go heavyweight, even though he was about 225, 230, and did well, racked up some wins. But by goodness, by the end of the season, he just knew it was too much weight. I mean, pounding on him physically, he said. So he went back down to 220. It is a lot of weight, and it is a big deal when you're a little bit undersized to try to get through there. But a guy like Jefferson, he's certainly, like you said, man, if you could get out from bottom and you can keep people from getting out, it goes a long way to win a lot of matches.
Mark, real quick before we let you go, give us one or two semifinal matches you're really looking forward to.
Well, I think if you want to, if you look around the 195 class, you're going to have Sean Lynch, Tommy Maxwell of Delsey. This is going to be, I believe, the third time they wrestled this season. They may have even wrestled last season too, Sully. I expect Brian Martin of Williamstown to be there in the final, but those two going back at it, and really that familiarity people talk about that we lost a little bit with these adjustments to regions and districts. That's not the case with these guys. They know each other well, and they'll take each other's best shot.
Good stuff as always, Mark. I know you got to get to work over there at Egg Harbor Township, and I'll see you down there later on for the finals.
Hey, always a pleasure, Sully, and we'll see some great wrestling soon, man.
Good stuff. Thanks, Mark.
Yep.
That was Mark Trible with the Courier-Post. Always enjoy his take on high school wrestling.